Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning. There we go. Good morning. Hello, welcome. Happy New Year. Welcome to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. Come on in and sit down. It's great to see you all this morning and welcome you on this wonderful January morning as people are still arriving. I'm Reverend Mary Murray Shelton. I'm the community spiritual leader here, and I'm delighted to welcome you all. If you're with us for the first time this morning, just settle in. This will probably be different than anything you've attended before, and we're delighted to welcome you. We are a center that believes in accepting everyone as an expression of the divine presence of God. So you're right where you belong. So I want to, first of all, have you greet one another, because this is how we turn a bunch of spectators into a unified congregation this morning. It's by acknowledging one another. So please stand up, walk around, say hi, welcome each other, introduce yourself to anybody you don't know, and make people feel welcome. And we'll be right back. And for you at home, please do the same. Give yourselves a hug. Know that you are welcome, you are wanted. We're glad that you're here. In just a moment, we're going to sing our opening song. So sit back, pour yourself another cup of coffee, and we'll get started in just a second. Good morning. All right. All right. Come on back and find your seats. Those folks will be around for you to chat with at coffee immediately after the service. So, we're going to begin this morning with a nice upbeat opening song from Gary Lynn Floyd. And Gary is the artist in residence at the Center for Spiritual Living in Reno, Nevada. He won a 2020 Empower Music Positive Music Award for his song Love Always Finds a Way. And that was co-written with Amy Bishop and Karen Drucker. So you can get his CDs anywhere, but do look for him at GaryLynnFloyd.com so you can find out more about him and get his music. In the meantime, we're going to sing this opening song together, which is called One Big Family, and you'll catch on pretty quickly. So I invite you to stand up and join us now with Gary Lynn Floyd. Here we go.
Good morning, Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. How are you all doing? Gary Lynn Floyd here with you again on this second Sunday of 2023. I hope you're having a good one so far. Please sing this with me. You probably know it by now. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. We sing all that again. Here we go. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah. Thank you. You may be seated. You know, I saw some of you just now. Oh, thank you, Gary. I saw some of you just now moving a little bit, kind of irresistibly and in spite of yourselves. That's what you want to be doing. Yes? We want to move and live our lives from that movement. But at this moment, now that we've had that little bit of movement, we're going to turn within. So prepare yourselves for the opening prayer. Go ahead and silence your cell phones right now so that they won't be interrupting us during the prayer or anytime during the service. And Lori Greer, our morning prayer practitioner, is going to go ahead and pray us in right now.
Turning within. Turning into that place of presence. Turning within to recognize and remember that there is only one life. It is the God life that is expressing through everything that we see, touch, feel, and know. It is all of the beauty, all of the light, the sunshine, the rain, the green grass, the cars and the people. All is God. Every relationship, every situation and circumstance is an outpicturing of this one presence, this one power that is the infinite intelligence of God. It is the full expression of the one source of all life, back of all creation, that knows only to give. It knows only to continue to unfold. It knows only to be love, light, peace, beauty, harmony. And I am a part of this one. I am a part of this one life that continues to express and unfold and reveal more of itself through me. And as I speak my word in the first person, I invite each one to know the same truth, because we are all one in this life of God. Each one of us a divine expression, each one of us filled with the infinite potential, the wisdom, the intelligence, the joy, each one of us filled with unknown good. There is more for us than we can even think up, more than we can imagine. And so I call forth right now an opening in mind that allows for us in this new year to welcome in that greater yet to be, the revelation of a deeper truth of knowing ourselves as one with God, a deeper knowing of this truth that will bring forth that good. Because as I align in consciousness, that good shows up. As I know my good, it is revealed. And so I open to that greater idea of spirit. I open to a more expansive mental equivalent that allows for me to dream bigger, dream better. And that better and that bigger may simply be greater peace, deeper connections, and more joy. It doesn't have to be things. And so I'm grateful to know that my experience is enriched and expanded because in each moment I deepen my connection with this one source of all life. So I give thanks for knowing this truth for myself and for each and every one. I give thanks and I release this word now into the power of the law, into the creative process that always demonstrates at the level of consciousness. So I let it go, I let it be, and I simply step aside and let God do God's work. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Lori.
Oh, great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Oh, great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of all in one in all. No greater blessing neath moon or sun. Oh, great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. No greater blessing neath moon or sun. No greater blessing, oh great Spirit, no greater blessing, oh great Spirit, neath moon or sun, oh great Spirit.
It's always wonderful to hear Gary's music. There's such a soulfulness in what he communicates, so I appreciate that. We have a new theme, of course, for this new year, which is live out loud. Anybody ever told that you were too loud or too something, or you asked too many questions, or anybody ever get that when you were a kid? Anybody ever get in school in trouble for talking? Yeah, I always had important things to say. Yeah, so I got in trouble a lot for talking. And, in retrospect, I could just say it was job training. I was just rehearsing what I was going to be doing later, but my nuns didn't see it that way. So, uh, January also has a new theme, which is roots and wings. So, our science of mind teaching is the ground, the foundation, the roots that we come from. And then we take wing from that. So the way in which we learn to express our lives and go forward are the way that we take those roots and take flight from there. But we always have the connection to the infinite, even though we're aloft, so to speak. And also, we're coming into this new morning now, and the theme of this morning is why God, in quotation marks, needs us. So I want to tell you why I put God in quotation marks. First of all, this is January, which typically, over the many years of Science of Mind, is always the month that ministers use to review the basic teachings of Science of Mind, just the basic beliefs. And because we had 5 weeks this month instead of just 4, we could have our year kicked off with our founding minister last week, Reverend Dr. Lloyd Tepper. So he was here as our gift, and he'll be back with me and Reverend Carol for our anniversary in April. So we'll be all together here for our anniversary celebration in April, all three. So that's going to be really fun. So I want you to put that on your calendars for Easter Sunday in April and look forward to that and bring all your friends. It's going to be great fun. So what I would have talked about the first week of the month is God, this God with quotation marks, because in a way, we have as much in common with any religious tradition that holds the presence of this infinite beingness as we do with people who don't believe in God at all. Because oftentimes people who don't believe in God at all don't believe in the God that they've been hearing about all their lives. And our founder, Ernest Holmes, once said, "I thank God that the God of people's teachings isn't." So we have a different perception of what that means when we use that word. So we use a lot of other interchangeable terms for people who find God something that makes them do that. We use the word spirit or infinite intelligence or mystery or oneness or higher power or, Fred, whatever you want to call it. That's something that orders the universe. That's something, that impulsion that makes spring burst forth every year. It's not just nature. We watch the planets move, the stars, the universe. It's all in motion, but very rarely does stuff crash into other stuff. It's pretty orderly. Our bodies operate in a pretty orderly fashion. They can go off sometimes, but it's unusual. It's not the common thing. So order. There seems to be a natural order that intelligently expresses whatever that is, whatever that cosmic oneness is that flows through everything. We call that God. And it is a principle, a law, the law of creation, but that's not all it is. Because an automatic principle, like gravity, does not then give rise to other consciousness. So because we have awareness, because we can self-observe, we can perceive and experience the universe, we know that whatever set this all into motion must have awareness, because we have it. So we can't imagine just a principle operating according to our thoughts and beliefs as the infinite, because it's limited. It wouldn't have choices if it doesn't have awareness. You see what I'm saying? This is yes. This is what? Okay, so when we're talking about that as God, we would say, well, why does that need us? Great question. So I want to start off with a little story. in a small town in Texas, Drummond's Bar began construction on a new building so they could expand and increase their business. And the local Baptist church started a campaign to block that bar from opening with petitions, with special prayer vigils and revivals. And the work on this new building progressed right up until the week before opening, when lightning struck the bar and it burned to the ground. And the church folks were rather smug about their outlook, after that, until the bar owner sued the church on the grounds that the church was ultimately responsible for the demise of his building, either through direct or indirect actions or means. And the church, of course, vehemently denied all responsibility or any connection to the building's demise in its reply to the court. So as the case made its way into the court, the judge looked over all the paperwork. And at the hearing, he said, I don't know how I'm going to decide this, but it appears from the paperwork that we have a bar owner who believes in the power of prayer and an entire church congregation that does not. Somewhere along the line, in the evolution of all the species that we see on our planet, awareness began to become more and more prevalent at each level. We know we're not the only intelligent species on the planet. We can see that other creatures learn and apply learning and use tools and interact with one another and have communities and have relationships and have an intelligence about how they do that, sometimes more than we have. So we can see that intelligence has moved forward into this presence where we, at least we know ourselves. We can recognize ourselves. Hello? Might be a good idea to take that phone call outside. We can reflect on ourselves and see how well we're doing or not doing with things in our lives. And why would the infinite then need to do that? Wouldn't it be great to just create all this beauty, all this wonder that came forward and see that all harmoniously flourishing and unfolding? Well, apparently not. Apparently that's not enough. In order for that infinite presence to actually have an experience of itself, that infinite creative presence, if everything is one and nothing of it has awareness, then it doesn't observe itself or anything else with a sense of wonder or appreciation or experimentation that it's conscious of. It all happens kind of automatically. The infinite, in order for it to have an experience of what it's creating, needs something in the creation to be able to look at itself and at what's around it and play with it and experience it and express through it and do more with it. And that extends creation even more. So we are necessary to the infinite because the creative law means, as we understand it, that the divine presence, whatever that is, contemplates itself. And in that process, it automatically brings forth manifestation into being. With a certain intention, then, it can bring forth anything at all. And what a delight, then, to bring forth a whole population of beings that also operate according to that same creative law, so that what they believe and contemplate also begins to come forward into being, extending creation, expanding it outward even more. So this infinite, we believe, is always creating. It's not like it set all of this universe that we're aware of into motion and then sat back and went, let's see what happens now. No, it's constantly, continuously creating. That's what I believe. That's just its nature. If you are something that is infinitely wise and exists beyond the limitations of any time or space, why make one time-space continuum and be done? You wouldn't. it's a continuous process. So, I might say now, I suddenly have this question in my mind for Thomas Troward, who said, well, something happened that brought form into being. If you just have spirit, then at some point, things come into being. So what happened? Troward says, something moved. What could it have been? The only non-physical thing that moves is thought. So we're the result, or creation is the result of God's thought. Well now, but what if this infinite has to create always? I mean, it's just its nature to create always. Then there never was spirit plus nothing. It was always spirit all the time. And it makes sense that there would have always been something in form, somewhere, some time. I don't know. Is it possible to create a universe that doesn't experience space-time, at least not the way we do? Sure. I don't know what it would be, but I'm sure for the infinite it's possible. Now, have I launched off into space too far, or are you still with me here? Okay, you still with me? Okay, good. So we're talking about now why this presence would need us. Because that creative law that operates so elegantly, so automatically through the infinite then gets transferred into all of its creation that has awareness of itself and is able to imagine and desire and think and reach for, and that's us. So the infinite, because it must express continuously, it requires something to come forward into being, some kind of form. And it also requires then awareness that can experience the form. And when it is the form, that's a little difficult, but if it can create form that forgets that it's that and reflects back on itself, then spirit gets to ride along and see what that's all like. I think. I'm making this up, really, because we don't know. I mean, think how silly it is, really, for us to speak for God and describe what God does. But anyway, this gives us a general thought about why it is that our own belief system has a tendency to recreate itself in our experience to show us what we really believe. And when we change our minds about things, new stuff begins to show up. Not that it wasn't always there. I think maybe we never noticed it because we were focused in a particular way. But when we change our focus, different things become visible and available and clear to us that weren't before. Now, can you relate to this? Is this making sense so far? Yes? Yes. Okay, good. All right. So our founder, Ernest Holmes, says, in the beginning of this creation, there is an involuntary thrust. The infinite has no need other than to express itself, right? And then in the science of mind, he says, we are surrounded by an infinite possibility. It is goodness, life, law, and reason. In expressing itself through us, it becomes more fully conscious of its own being. Therefore, it wishes to express through us. As it passes into our being, it automatically becomes the law of our lives. It can pass into expression through us only as we consciously allow it to do so. Now, I want to say, I don't believe that. I believe that it passes into expression through us whether we consciously allow it to do so or not. The creative law operates automatically all the time on our beliefs, whether we want it to or not, whether we know it does or not, whether we give it permission or not. It's not up to us to start and stop the law. And he would say that himself. So, yeah. Like all of us, he contradicts himself sometimes. So then he goes on, he says, therefore, we should have faith in it and its desires and its ability to do for us all that we shall ever need to have done. Since it must pass through our consciousness to operate for us, we must be conscious that it is doing so. Now, he doesn't necessarily mean that for those people who are not conscious of this creative law operating through them, that it doesn't. What he means is, in order for us to have it produce through us what we would love to experience in our lives, we have to be consciously tuned into that. We have to see where we stand in our own way, and we have to take action to move out of our own way to let creative law produce according to the new belief that we're up-leveling into. As the Ricky Byers and Michael Beckwith's song "Use Me" says, God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, God. Here I stand for you. Show me everything that I need to do. That's the gist of the song. Martin Buber, the great Jewish mystic, said, how would man exist if God did not need him? How would you exist? You need God in order to be, and God needs you, for that is the meaning of your life. In other words, if we weren't needed by the infinite, we would not be here. Think of all the possibilities in the moment you were conceived, just before you were conceived. Think of all the possibilities of who might have come into being. That one egg and millions of sperm, trying to decide who are we going to be? And at some point, two of them make an agreement, or sometimes more than two, but if it's twins or triplets, or said, well, wouldn't it be fun to go in together? Let's do this. So in that moment before conception, there are infinite possibilities for who could come into being, and yet you are here. We are here. We're not only the ones that are here, we're here in this moment, at this time, in this place, and it's not an accident. So if we're here by divine intention, that's a huge, huge gift. And what an awesome thing that the infinite so wanted to be expressed through you, that you're the one who's here rather than somebody else. If you were not specifically, I mean exactly, specifically needed, somebody else would be here, you wouldn't be. Or you wouldn't be in this room, somebody else would be here. Or you wouldn't be in this time and space. However, it's questionable whether we're in this time and space or we're in all time and space simultaneously, but that's another talk. So here we are in this condition with this infinite creative presence that is continuously expressing in form and producing awareness that is self-observing and universally observing at the same time, and giving it the same gift, because it appears then that just expressing alone is not enough. The infinite can express, but it also wants to share that capacity, that ability, that potential for expressing. And so here we are. And as that is given, it extends creation more and further. We go out there and we make lots of mistakes. We make big messes. We have all kinds of stuff to figure out, to straighten out, and then to screw up again. We just have infinite possibilities of exploration and discovery and learning. It's this rich paradise of possibilities. And the good thing is that no matter what awful things we've done or how badly we've screwed up, this is a closed system, and we haven't actually destroyed anything. We may have caused a lot of pain and a lot of difficulty to the world or to each other or to ourselves or to generations of people or whole huge countries full of people, but ultimately we're indestructible. Not physically. This is a temporary get-up anyway. But as the essence of who we are, we're indestructible. So it's this huge playground. Go out, explore, experiment, create. Make yourselves miserable. Learn how to become happy again. Learn how to forgive and let go. Learn how to change your mind and recreate. Have at it. Go for it. See what you can do. And we're given, in essence, the keys to the kingdom. Here you go. Have at it. Create more. See what happens. Wreck stuff. Build more. It's amazing. It's a freedom that's been given to us and passed on so that the infinite has that opportunity to share and let more be experienced, expressed, and discovered. Mark Nepo, who wrote the Book of Awakening, says, imagine that each of us is a spoke in an infinite wheel. And though each spoke is essential in keeping the wheel whole, no two spokes are the same. The rim of that wheel is our community, our family, and relationships. But the common hub, all the spokes join, is the one center where all souls meet. And at that point of unity is the atom of God. Now, that's beautiful, and actually I truly believe that the atom of God can't be separated out into just the hub. The atom of God is every atom, everywhere, always. All of us, every atom in us. You know, Thomas Troward says that if something is unlimited, if it's infinite, it can't be divided up into little pieces. So you can't say, well, the presence of God is this huge beingness that fills up the whole universe. And I'm, this tiny little cell of something over here that the infinite is too busy to really notice because, yeah. As somebody, I think it was Amanda who was telling me, she saw somebody said, what if they aren't stars? What if they're really like openings in the microscope that see into the tininess of our universe? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I just had that image, so I'm going to say it. So the expression that's coming through wants to be shared. It wants us to experience it, to revel in it, to discover more, to create more. Argyll student, in an article called Does God Need Us, said Judaism, so the religion of Judaism, believes that God is, to a degree, dependent on man. And here's a quote. Just as man needs God, for without him he becomes a beast, so does God need man, else he remains unknown to the world. Think about that. We consider this infinite presence. I wonder if trees, in their longevity, consider an infinite presence. I wonder if dolphins do. I wonder if other creatures that are intelligent have a perception of something larger, some intelligence in which they live and move and have their being. Well, whether they do or not, we know that we're able to do that, and what an amazing thing it is. So atheists would say, well, human beings just make that up because it makes them feel good. Well, to some extent, that's true because we really don't know what we're talking about. It's something that's way too big for us to understand. So our words are all approximations, and then we get totally bound to these words like, this is the truth. Oh, please, come on. We're doing our best to understand. And therefore, it makes sense for us to have great respect for other people's traditions and understanding and their desire and effort to connect with whatever it is, just as we do. Kurt Bubna, who's a senior pastor of East Point Church in Spokane Valley in Washington, last year wrote this in Outreach magazine. He said, here it is in all its God be praised certainty. God wants to partner with you. You matter. You are essential to God's plan. You should always expect the God of the universe to say, let's do this. In other words, let us, you and me, do something awesome together. Yeah? Why not? Why not? And so we as human beings, as parents, as mentors, as friends, as brothers and sisters, we want to empower our children, our grandchildren, our brothers and sisters, our community, our coworkers, whomever, our parents. We want to empower people to know what's incredible in this universe and how to live in a way that is harmonious and happy and have a good life. We want to pass that on to them. And so if the infinite has this desire, then the question for me becomes, what expression are we to create, each one of us, this year? What are we being called to? So imagine, first of all, that you can set aside, just imagine this, I'm not saying you have to do it, just imagine that it's possible for you to set aside your doubt and set aside your skepticism and be entirely, like a little child, entirely available to the guidance of this infinite in this moment, that you're absolutely available. And in addition to that, imagine that this infinite is so powerful, omnipotent, is so powerful that it knows you so well that it knows exactly how to bring something to you this morning in a way that is so clear and so perfectly tailored for you that you could not possibly miss it. That you are being given a word or a phrase or an image or a symbol or a feeling that is yours. That is an image or a word or something that is a guide for your year in 2023. Can you imagine that possibility that the infinite could do something like that? Like, no, that's too hard for God, actually. I'm so dense that even God could not get a word or an image through to me. No, it's not possible. I think you could be wrong. And I also think that if we're designed out of that one, that it's always possible in some moment that our guard is down enough that we can allow ourselves to know what the infinite is making known in us. So I'd like to invite you to close your eyes for a moment and invite, just be an invitation for this year of 2023 that is yours. You're here, living, breathing. This year is yours. Who are you to be? What is the expression? What is the energy? What is the focus? What wants to come forward through you? Is there a word? Is there an image, a picture, a movie? Is there a symbol or a phrase? Is there a new name coming forward for you? Leave your eyes closed. Minnie Louise Haskins wrote, I said to the man who stood at the gate of the year, give me a light that I may tread safely into the unknown. And he replied, go into the darkness and put your hand into the hand of God. It shall be to you better than a light and safer than a known way. So imagine putting your hand into the hand of God and feeling the warmth of that hand and allowing yourself to receive a message. Ah, yes. Now you can open your eyes. If you have an idea, a symbol, an image, a word, a phrase, you might want to take a moment and write it down on your program. Allow it to be something now that you take an anchor. So imagine, no, I'm not even going to have you imagine. I want you to take your right hand, hold your right hand up, like that. Yeah? Wiggle your fingers. I want to know you know which one is your right hand. Yeah? Okay? Now I want you to take this and tap yourself right here on the chest and think of your word, your phrase, your image, your symbol. Okay. Now that's just to anchor it there. Yeah? So I invite you to do that so that when you go home, you can remember what's the image, what's the word, what's the phrase or the symbol or the feeling. And just sit with that a little bit today, if you think of it. Let it become something that grows and reveals itself to you more throughout this coming year. And as Rumi would say, let love be the light that leads you home. So I want to share one little last story with you about how we want our kids or our whomever they are in our lives to grow from our example. This man writes, keeping up seems so important when I was a teenager. Back in 1963, I can remember if you weren't wearing penny loafers, you just as soon go around in your bare feet. I was 13 years old, and I had worked hard to keep up with my peers. I had only one serious problem that year. I had bought Oxfords, but penny loafers were in. I asked my dad for help. I need some money for penny loafers, I told him one afternoon at the shop where he worked as a car mechanic. Willie, he said in apparent shock, the shoes you have aren't a month old yet. Why do you need new ones? Everybody's wearing penny loafers, Dad. That might be, son, but that doesn't make it any easier for me to pay for them. Dad's salary was small and seldom covered more than rent and groceries. Dad, I look like a fool wearing these things. I pointed to the nearly new Oxfords I had on. Dad looked at me for a full minute before he answered. Tell you what I'll do, he said. Wear those shoes one more day. Look at every other pair of shoes at school. If you can come here after school and tell me that you're worse off than the other kids, I'll take part of your mom's grocery money for you to buy some new shoes. Well, triumphantly, I went to school the next morning knowing it would be the last day I would have to appear out of style. I did what Dad said, but I had no intention of telling him the results. Brown shoes, black ones, stained white tennis shoes. They all seemed to have a personality of their own. By noon, I'd seen shoes that were scuffed beyond recognition, torn shoes the likes of which I'd never had to wear, and shoes with holes in them that made me wonder how those kids wearing them ever kept their feet dry on rainy days. And then there were those gleaming black penny loafers with the horseshoe taps that demanded attention when they clicked in the halls. When school was out, I rushed to the shop where Dad worked, knowing I'd return to school the following Monday as part of the in crowd. Every now and then I'd drag my heels on the pavement, imagining how the taps would sound when they were in place later that night. The shop was quiet when I arrived. Only occasional clank of metal could be heard as Dad worked under a 1956 Chevy. Even the smell of old motor oil pleased me that day. One man sat alone in the shop waiting for Dad to finish with the transmission of his car. Mr. Alva, I said to the man waiting to get his car, is Dad almost finished? Can't ever tell, Will. You know your dad. He's working on the linkage on the transmission, but if he sees anything else wrong, he'll fix that too. I walked to the car to wait. All I could see were Dad's legs from the knees down, and I stood there absent-mindedly, fingering the taillight of the Chevy as I stared unconsciously at Dad's feet and legs. His blue work pants were oil-stained and faded. His shoes were old and black, the kind mechanics and service station attendants wear. The left one had 2 stitches of baling wire where the soles had long since separated. The laces had been spliced on both shoes. Neither one had a heel. Only small bent nails where the heel had been pulled off, and Dad had bent them to keep them from pushing through to his feet. "That you back there, boy?" Dad said, coming out from under the car. "Yes, sir," I said. "You do what I told you today?" "Yes, sir." "Well, what do you want to do?" He looked as though he might know what my answer would be. "I still want the penny loafers." I forced myself not to look at his shoes. "I have to take your mom to the grocery shopping as soon as I get off work. Why don't you go ahead now and get the shoes?" And Dad handed me $10 and fished in his pocket for a quarter to pay the 3% sales tax. I took the money and went to the store 2 blocks down the street. And I stopped in front of the store to see if the shoes were still on sale. They were, for $9.95. But I wouldn't have enough money left to buy the necessary taps. I decided to wait until we got home and ask Mom for the money. I couldn't ask Dad for any more right then. And when I thought of Dad, his old shoes flashed through my mind. I could see the mended soles, the spliced laces, the bent nails in the heels. He had worn the leather off his shoes working for us, his family. Surely his feet got cold on those nights when he got calls to go across town to start someone's car, yet he never complained. I thought of clients like Mr. Alva, whom Dad was always doing something extra for, even if they never asked. I thought of Dad going without the things he needed so I could have the things I wanted, and the gleam on the loafers in the window started to dull. What if Dad had been like me? What kind of shoes would I be wearing then? I went inside. A rack on a far wall appeared as if it might have 1,000,000 pairs of black penny loafers resting on it. And on a rack next to it was a sign that said, "Clearance, 50% off." And below the sign sat several young versions of Dad's shoes. My mind was playing ping pong. First, Dad's old shoes, then the new ones. First, the image of me keeping up with the in-crowded school, and then this image of Dad, tireless, selfless, in the sacrifices he was willing to make for his family. When it came to keeping up, which ideal was worth following? I took a size 10 from the clearance rack and darted to the checkout counter. Tax included, the shoes came to $6.13. I ran back to the shop and put Dad's new shoes in the car. I went into the shop and gave him the change I had left. "I thought the shoes were $9.95, he said. "They were on sale." I took a broom from the nearby wall and started helping Dad sweep up. At 5 o'clock, he signaled that it was time to go. Dad picked up the box when we got in the car. When he opened it, he just stared at it without saying a word. He looked first at the shoes and then at me. "I thought you were going to get those penny loafers," he said. "I was, Dad, but..." I couldn't explain the rest. How could I tell Dad that his was the image I had chosen to follow, or that when it came to keeping up, I wanted to try and keep up with the very best? I wanted to be more like the good man God had given me for a father. Dad put his hand on my shoulder, and we sat, looking at each other for a moment. Nothing else was said. Dad started the car, and we went home. If our human desire to help our kids be happy, have what they want, learn valuable lessons, experience joy in life, and if we're lucky, that we are some kind of a good example for them, if we do that, how much more must that infinite presence delight in us, want us to be happy, set us free to create and discover, and to forgive ourselves when we make mistakes, and to experience our own growth. That's where we are. with this great gift this morning. So let's take that creative law and set it loose in the world so that when we sing our closing song at the end of the day today, which is Love Be With You, let's look around and wish that for everybody in the room with us. Namaste. Thank you. Okay. So now let's take this within, all right, and anchor this prayer. So as we close our eyes, I'm going to invite you to tap yourself on the chest again. And remember your word, your image, your symbol, your phrase, your feeling, or just make space for that. If you're not yet aware of what it is, just bless that space. Because we know right here, in this time, in this space, in this room, in this moment, we are a holy people. We are a sacred community. We are a group of beings who are the presence manifesting as each one of us. And we are blessed to exist and to be given this gift of creative ability, the power not only to notice, but to change our minds, to change our perspective and our opinion, to open into greater being and knowing, to create anew. And so for 2023, whatever it is that we're called to live with as our image, as our focus for being, we know that this will deepen, that it will take root in us, and it will also empower our wings even more than before. We use this creative law with gratitude and with awareness of its unlimited ability to bring forth newness according to our willingness to grow. And so we are recognizing our unlimited ability to grow, to be, to express, to bring forward more and more good, to bless the world, to look through the eyes of love at each one we see as a being of light, no matter how many mistakes they've made or seem devoted to making, to look at ourselves in the mirror and see beings of light and love, no matter what we've done before this moment. It's all in the past. This moment is a new creation. This moment, we are new creations, stepping over the threshold with our hand in the hand of God. We're deeply grateful to remember this and to put it to use in our lives. So we surrender this prayer to the creative law, letting it become the manifestation of our lives. And together we say, as we accept this, and so it is. And I invite you to stand with me now as we say this morning's affirmation together. The infinite mystery cannot be contained within space, time, or outside it. It must be expressed. I am essential to this expression. Without me, the universe is incomplete. How do I know this? I am here. And so it is. And so we are. You may be seated. And I want to invite the ushers to come forward now because this is our sacred time of giving. And so I want to invite you to bring your gift and to hold it near your heart. We're going to bless these gifts that we're giving this morning, all the gifts being given in the room. If you're giving them with a loved one this morning and you're both here, you can hold it in your hands together. And if you want to text a donation this morning, you can do it. Oh, no, you can't. You can do it to the number on the screen. Those of you that are at home may want to do that. That's always available to you. And let's bless not only this gift that we're giving in this moment, but if you're an automatic giver, if you tithe that way, then bless the gifts that are going out from your accounts or your credit card that are coming to Golden Gate. We want to bless for Golden Gate everything that's coming into us and everything we give. So we do that by saying this out loud together. Join me. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is. Thank you.
Open your mind and unfold your heart. Relax your senses and feel every part. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Breathe every breath. Yeah. Release your cringe. Love without waiting, without waiting, slowly unhinge. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. You can stop waiting for love to find you. Look inside your heart. Love's already who you are. It's already who we are. So lift up your voice. Lift it up now, now, and let it be heard. Let it be heard. Tell me your story. Tell it to me. And don't leave out a word. Not a word, no. 'Cause I think I have been there too. I'm a seeker just like you. And you ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Lay it all down, down, down. Lay it all down. Open your mind and unfold your heart. Yeah.
So, on behalf of Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, all of us now accept this offering with a lot of gratitude. And we send it out into the world, everywhere that it goes, to remind people of the light within them. And so it is. So if you're here with us for the first time this morning, welcome and thank you for being here. We're delighted to welcome the new year with you. And we invite you to stop back at the information table back here. We have welcome packets back there for you. And there's a blue card inside the welcome packet. If you fill that out and give it to Galen, she's waving them back there at the table. We're going to give you a little gift as our thank you to you for being here with us today. That's also an invitation for you to come back and be with us in the future. It's a little book of affirmations, which are very powerful. They can be used for all sorts of situations in your life where you need to recenter and come back to your truth. So fill that out and leave it for us, and Galen, make sure you get one of our little books. We want to thank everybody that was here this morning to make this a welcoming place for us. And so all of their names are popping up on the screen here. Actually, Dana didn't do the music. He's over here at the prayer table, and Rick is on sound this morning. Not doing the music, doing the sound, I mean. We can make Dana sing another time. But Dana's over here with Deborah this morning, and they are available for prayer immediately following the service. Our practitioners are always here at the prayer table. You can put in a written request. You can put in a prayer request on our website, and they're here to pray with you after the service. It's a great gift to take advantage of. So let's acknowledge everybody who is serving this morning. I also want to report back to you that we raised $900 for Heifer International. And what that amount of money will donate to needy families is 4 sheep, 4 hives of honeybees, 5 flocks of chicks, 3 flocks of ducks, and 1 pig. And along with those flocks, each flock goes to a family. A flock of chicks for one of these families is between 10 and 40 chicks, depending upon what's available, to them there. And they also get training in how to care for them, how to keep them safe and healthy, and so on. So you did that. This little congregation has helped a whole bunch of families with this gift. So I want to say thank you to you for that. Good job. Now, this coming Thursday is Reverend Sarah's Extra Edge. This is how to apply spirituality in everyday life and work. She's been doing this on Zoom ever since the pandemic. And so the link to how to join her on Zoom is on our calendar on the website. You can go there to join it. It's from 8 to 9:30 this Thursday morning. And everybody's welcome. And there'll be a great conversation about how to live a spiritual life from a practical perspective. Also, I want to let you know that now is the time to sign up to help at the Marin Food Bank. There's an a warehouse in San Rafael, and the next opportunity to serve, it's only 2 hours, is Tuesday, January 17th from noon to 2. Let Ellen Nicosia know that you want to participate so she can get you on the list for the food bank, because they need to know who's coming so they know how much to prepare for people to do. So you can either email or telephone Ellen, give her your information, and you can get on this list. She needs to know, I think, by today, maybe, if you're going to be coming this time. So get on it right away. And if you don't get it in by today, get it to her anyway, because there's always a possibility, and she can put you on for next month. Now, there's exciting stuff coming up in education. I'm teaching a brand new class. I'm teaching a class called Journey of the Soul, and it really is about living from the infinite, living from the impulsion of love all the time. It's a 6-week class. There's only one prerequisite. You have to have taken foundations, but most of you have done that. So this class is available. You can sign up on the sign-up sheet at the back table this morning, or you can register. You can go ahead and register and pay for the class online. If you go to our classes and events tab on the website, the classes calendar is under that, and you can register for my class there. And Leslie Giannetti, who did our beautiful altar this morning, Leslie's one of our, isn't it gorgeous? Yeah, Leslie is one of our very popular teachers. She's got 2 brand new original workshops coming up that are based on the work of Joel Goldsmith. One is called There Is No Age in the Infinite, so there's no age in you. And the other one is called Life Never Begins and Life Never Ends. So you can sign up for either of those, and there's a sign-up sheet on the back table for that. And Leslie's here, so if you have any questions about the workshops, you can talk to her. If you have any questions about the class, you can talk to me. And we hope to see tons of you sign up for stuff. It's going to be so much fun. More information is on the website about those, so go there. And also, it's in your bulletin this morning. You know, I don't know how many of you pick up your bulletin and never read it, but there's always a lot of information in there, so I encourage you to take it with you so you can refer back to it. And also, on the 18th, Wednesday the 18th, is the next Women's Drumming Circle. Guys, sorry about that. But the Women's Drumming Circle is held at Unity in Marin from 7 to 8:30. It is, the drumming and chanting is led by Karen Drucker and another gal who's a professional drummer. If you have any questions about that, talk to Lori Greer, who is also here. She was our morning prayer practitioner. Lori can tell you all about the women's drumming and get you signed up for that. All right. So I already spoke about the practitioners, but I want to invite practitioners now to surround the room as we move into the closing for our morning. And the practitioners this morning now, see, if you look around, you'll notice most of them have on their white stoles. This lets you know if somebody's wearing that they are a licensed spiritual practitioner. If they're at the table, they're available for prayer this morning. Otherwise, you can ask them questions about practitioners, anybody else, you know, if they're still here after the service having coffee. Please stay for coffee. So let's turn within now. All of us together recognize and know that there is one infinite, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent being in its wholeness everywhere. In its wholeness everywhere at the same time. All of that divine is where you're sitting right now, within you, around you. It's beside you, in front of you, behind you. This one presence. It's all that we can be. So we anchor in this one, holding that thought, that image or word within us that we've been invited to step into more deeply for this year. We entrust this knowingness that is within us into divine presence, that it can be deepened and broadened, and we can grow in understanding of it and express it more fully as the light and love of the one presence. This presence is so powerful that anything out of alignment in us is being adjusted in mind, in body, in spirit, from the very center outward through our entire being. There is not a cell in our bodies at this moment that is not lifting its vibration to that oneness that permeates the universe. Breathe it in. Allow it to be. Welcome it. Be the invitation. With great gratitude for the very knowing of this, we send this prayer into the creative law of mind and spirit to produce according to the word spoken and even more. With great gratitude, we welcome all the good that comes forth from this, and we just let it be. And therefore, we say together, and so it is. Yes, and so it is. Please stand and join me now for the benediction, which we're going to say together, and the closing song. Together. I now walk, so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God, and whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness, for spirit and all people and I are one eternally, and so it is. And remember, look around at each other, because this song
Thank you
repeats.
so much again for having
Easy.
me this morning. I'll see you soon. Let's sing this one. Love be with you.
Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. May good flow to you. Let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Say it to each other. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Here we go from the beginning. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. May good flow to you. Let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love be with you. Love you. See you next time.